That goddamn MC Hammer, very serious about beef. Oh, you gonna talk about my dancing pants? I see you. And he will whoop out.
And after Redman's interview, I will never disrespect Hammer. His entourage was something never seen in my life. Like, it was literally 100 people. More than 100 people, probably. That's really a space when there was girls, gangsters, dancers. Everybody.
I go right on Hammer because they said he is that real, and it was like low.
You know, Hammer was a big dog, man. He got respect in the streets. He came from a respected crew. They handled business, him and his brother Lewis and the crew. Without spending any money, Hammer could have told some people to him to up. I know who Hammer was affiliated with, and he wouldn't have to pay. We from Oakland.
You be talking, talking to you out Hammer, but I wound up on
Hammer beat you. I bet he'll beat you. Hammer, come on, guys. Run up on.
This is a perfect example of never judge a book by its cover. Now, MC Hammer was a thorough dude, you know what I mean? He was a real one, you know what I mean? Ain't nothing about MC Hammer could be punked off. See, a lot of people, they looked at MC Hammer as the dancing dude, shiny suits and all that kind of stuff, and bypassed the fact that this dude was a real one, you know what I mean? The streets knew that. And the few individuals that actually thought you could play with Hammer, they found out real quick.
Still didn't finish telling us about MC Hammer's hit on you.
Yeah, that's for the book. I'm not going to talk about it. Goes back also to men's, so I didn't even say the line. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to eventually have to make amends with the men, right? Even though he put a hit out on me, right? Time to do it is when we can sit down, he and I can tell him what my responsibility is, what my role is, right? Even though I didn't say the line, even though the other dude in my group never ever talked about it.
Ridiculous. I didn't know who that dude was. You put your foot in your mouth, said a couple things. You let smooth taste fool you. You thought the Running Man was more than a dance, whatever it was, and I addressed it the way I always addressed it with any and everybody historically. Not nothing, just addressed it and kept it moving. That's all.
Ice Cube found that out real quick. Redman found that out real quick.
I'm going to tap out to, I was today years old when I learned that this whole time, I had been underestimating MC Hammer and his street cred. That I didn't realize he was clicked up, bro. Oh yeah, he was Crips, like hardcore Crip. And there's a story out about him that I heard today of him putting a hit out of somebody because they dropped a diss verse against him.
A ton of people, you know what I mean? See, here's the thing about being a street dude, you know what I mean? Like, see, a lot of times people are on the street wilding out, going crazy, barking loud. And it's all bark, man. A real thorough dude, he don't say nothing, he just does it, period. You know what I mean? I'll give you an example. Quincy Jones had a daughter. Tupac was dating Quincy Jones's daughter. And the way Tupac was, he was that loud guy, you know what I mean? And this is confirmed by pretty much everybody. Tupac loved to fight, but he could not fight, period. So one day, he was in an argument with his girlfriend. Michael Jackson happened to be good friends with her. So Michael Jackson peeped this from the corner, you know what I mean? He seen Tupac wilding out, calling her out of her name. And he said to Tupac, yo, you can't disrespect the girl like that. Tupac looked at Michael Jackson like, what are you gonna do about it? Never judge a book by its cover. You know, word on the street was Michael Jackson beat the crap out of Tupac. Taught Tupac a lesson real quick.
Fast forward years later, Tupac is dating one of the daughters. I think it was Khadijah. You know, Mike and Quincy was tight. Michael Jackson watched Quincy Jones' daughters grow up. Tupac comes out the party, disrespecting Khadijah, like, then shut up. Come pick on, shut the fuck up and get in the car. Mike stepped to him. Yo, you can't talk to her like that. He was like, Mike, mind your fucking business. Mike was like, fuck no, that's like my niece. You ain't gonna just talk to her like that. Michael Jackson and freaking Tupac start rumbling. Michael Jackson beat his ass. They said Tupac loved to fight, but he can't fight.
Never judge a book by its cover. Another incident, another scenario is that I was training in MMA, for several years. And one of my coaches, Claude Patrick, he actually ended up going to the UFC. You know, he got injured, so he never got a chance to fulfill his full potential in the UFC. But I remember one day when we were training, and at the end of the session, it's about 30 people in the class. And these dudes is like, you know, brown belts, purple belts, like, they're nice, you know what I mean? They ain't chumps, right? But the end of the class, he will stay there and he will invite all 30 people one by one, so to try to tap him out. And if he taps you out, you move to the left, and then the other person comes right after. And Claude will go through the whole class, 30 individuals, without breaking a sweat, tapping each person out, using only about 10% of his real strength and potential. You know, Claude, when you seen him, was a nice guy, smiling, very personable. You know, he didn't look like a monster. But dude was a monster. Do not judge a book by its cover. Prince, this dude at 5'2", was one of the highly recruited basketball players in the nation. This dude, if he wanted to, could have went to NCAA and probably go pro if he wanted to, but he had a lot more talent in his music. Never judge a book by its cover. See, we live in a society that's all made up. There's no reality, you know what I mean? Images are made up. Personalities are made up. But one thing about it is that when ish gets real, it gets real quick.